Hello, people of the internet watching videos that have to do with cars. Welcome to the Z. I drove it to the shop today and you're gonna be seeing a lot more of this thing, but I got some unfinished business that needs to be attended to. If you're new and you missed out in the last video where I worked on this thing, up above my head is either a link to that video to conveniently get you caught up, or it could be a special formulated dandruff shampoo for snails. What I have right here is a little bit of silicone lube, grease, dielectric grease, whatever you wanna call it. And I'm gonna put it down inside the hole for the trunk. It's a little messy, but better than rust. Just kind of pack the grease up inside cavity there. There, I got plenty of it down inside there. So the spoiler has had a chance for the epoxy to cure. Oh yeah, it's hard as a rock. Too early for that. So I got my weather rubber stripping, or whatever. A little bit of my secret pink formula. This will get this nice and clean so adhesive will stick. Tediousing, doing things that are tediousing. This will make my hands hurt. This is why this project is taking so long, because I'm doing stuff like this. But this is how it would have been done from the factory. This is the stuff that matters. This is how a project car stands out from just being a hack job and looking OE. There you go. That'll do. Came out better than I thought it would. I don't want to take any chances and tighten this thing down and have it pull the epoxy apart, so I'm gonna let it cure for another 24 hours. Okay, back to the inside of the cart. Oh, why am I doing it like this? This isn't the Matrix. I gotta take the whole back seat back out just because I took the side door panels off. Something I did not do when I reupholstered the carpet at the bottom of the door cards as well as the carpet in the vehicle was repair the little foil strip that's right here in the center, which you can see over the years started peeling and flaking off. So I was able to find an exact replica of the original stuff to repair it. I don't know how I'm gonna do this. This is not gonna be easy. Peeling this off isn't gonna be easy. This should take off any adhesive that was on there. I'm gonna do this without using any heat, if preferable. That way I don't have any shrink back issues. In comparison to the foil that I removed off of here, this isn't foil, it's vinyl wrap. And it's considerably more durable feeling than the original stuff was, so it should last longer. There, it looks just like brand new again. The other side's like 99% perfect still. Seat cushion can go back in. Gotta roll up my seat belts so they don't look messy. I don't know how I replaced all the carpet, all of the jute, cleaned behind everything, and it still smells like 1974 in here. I'm assuming. I don't know what 74 smelled like, but I'm guessing something like this. Oh, am I supposed to put the cushion in last? I am. Now the seat back can go in. So the seat belt, that should be good right there. Oh, shit handle. Great, drop the screw right where I didn't want to drop the screw. I don't think there's ever a spot where you want to drop the screw. Oh yeah, the caps. Here's one of them. I gotta find the other one. This isn't the cap for this. Yeah, it is. Okay, there's that. If there's one thing I can't stress enough when restoring a vehicle is proper storage and labeling of parts when you disassemble the vehicle. I did a pretty good job, but I can do better and I will next time. Where I screwed up is I used Ziploc bags, which tear and the Sharpie completely wore off of them. Never again will I do that. There's that. The clock in my dash, unfortunately, when I bought the car, did not work. So before I put this back together, connect my battery just to verify. Let me see if I got ground continuity. That's good enough to see that the ground is good. I mean, the clock should have power all the time. It does right there. Why do I got 3 wires for a clock? It should just be a power and a ground. That makes sense. Illumination circuit. That's why there's 2 powers. Okay. So if there's an illumination circuit, if I turn on my lights, then this clock should light up. It's illuminating. The only thing I can think of is there's capacitors in here that went bad because capacitors have a shelf life. I don't know why there'd be a capacitor in the clock. Hopefully there's not all kinds of little itty bitty parts in here that are gonna go everywhere. I am definitely not a watch repair shop. Well, it's not a capacitor. It goes to the ground wire. It might be a resistor. That's literally the only electrical component I see in here, other than unless a sleeve stack stole the crystal out of it. I mean, that's a possibility. Usually when clocks stop working. At this point, I knew this clock's only chance for survival would be to take it to a dedicated robot doctor.
If you kickstart the pendulum, it'll go. So I lubricated the bearings where this flywheel rides, and then you can see when the flywheel spins, it makes this little arm like back and forth. There's a little cogwheel in there, and these little pins go back and forth, and that's what makes the second hand like tick-tock, tick-tock, tick-tock all the way around. And I can't get it to keep going. So this little motor, like if you give it power, it just...
Oh, it goes.
Takes off, yeah. And I took it apart and cleaned the contacts and like lubricated it and put it back together. But it just doesn't have quite enough juice to keep it going. And then I used just a resistor box, and I paralleled a resistor in it to lower the resistance and get more voltage to the motor, and that didn't help. It would probably just overheat the motor eventually.
Okay, so this needs to attach. It's the following day. I've been trying a couple different solutions this morning to isolation mount my ECU. These little aluminium brackets that look like Lego people seats have rubber shock mounts above and below them with beveled stainless hardware, and this bracket clips to the top of the ECU. This is like my 5th different revision of this, but this should give a good amount of flexibility so that way the ECU is isolation mount. I think. Debating whether or not I should make those tabs black. I mean, the bracket for the CB was silver, but still, now I just gotta tuck up the wires, but I'm not doing that until this thing is tuned. I waited 48 hours additional just to make sure that this is good and cured. And yet what I feared still happened. I had a feeling that, yeah, damn it. I could feel it as I was tightening it down. It has to bow just a little bit to contour to the trunk lid, and I could feel this side starting to pull. So you see the wood that's in there? Well, the metal bracket is in that dark abyss under it, and it's epoxied and screwed to the wood core, which is part of the fiberglass. And that's where it's separating. And that's because it needs a spacer, I think, between the bottom of the bracket and the top of the trunk lid. So that way you can only tighten it so much and it doesn't try to pull and put torque on the bracket. I mean, it's not gonna go anywhere. It's pretty secure, but that will fail in time. So I got to address that and kind of just fix that. This side was fine. It didn't start pulling away. It was just this side, it started separating a little bit, but it is mounting nicely. So the next mission I have is Operation Modest Screw. The original hardware that holds these panels in was not in the greatest shape, so I wanted to replace it. But the closest screw I could find to the original, the head is just too big to clear the opening to make down inside there. And because they're stainless, I don't have to worry about corrosion. Well, I mean, I just gotta keep it rotating so I do it evenly. Can't tell if sharp or can't tell if burning flesh. Oh no! Can't tell if idiot. The screw still has a bevel just like it would from the factory, but now it's just a little bit tapered at the top, so it'll fit the hole. Perfect! Now I got brand new stainless steel hardware. So the screw will now slip down between those slots and then sit into its little beveled spot like it should, just like factory, but stainless. And that's why I brought the Z here, so I can get started on that while I'm waiting during this last 1% of this project. I could easily fake it for YouTube and just slap the rest of the parts on and make it look like the car is finished, but that's not real life. I want you to see what it actually takes to finish a project in real life. I kind of expect this to happen the last 1% of the build. Like, there's gonna be these little trial and errors to make these final details come together. Ouch. Oh, that's, I'm dumb. That goes that way. I like that I use this yellow Loctite just to be the extra bit of different. 22 Newton meters and 10 Newton meters. Okay, that's 89 inch pounds. This bracket is filthy. Wait. I just spent about 2 hours off camera looking for the front seatbelt buckle bolt. Yep. I can't get that time back. Fuck off. It's the following day, and this is a 220 kilo ohm resistor. And thanks to a wizard down in New Zealand with a YouTube channel that specializes specifically on super in-depth information when it comes to tuning and just Toyota UZ engines in general, and Toyota engines in general, he may have figured this out. With that said, need to gain access to my cam trig again. This guy down here. Oh man, I got all kinds of dust schmoo from waxing down inside here I gotta clean. So what I have here is 2 different cam position sensors. This is a cheap knockoff aftermarket one that I used for testing purposes. And this is the old original one, which has some miles on it, but should still work. The way in which this is wired is my black is the shielded ground, the red is the 5-volt reference, and the white is the Trig 2 signal for the ECU. So I want to put this between the Trig 2 and the 5-volt reference. Sorry, my toolbox is getting messy. I don't have a gnome that perpetually cleans my bench for me. Carefuling, carefuling. Doing what a careful Sarah does. Little resistor guy. Carefuling, carefuling. Breathing in lead fumes, carefuling. You must have patience to solder correctly. It is tempting to want to just stab the soldering iron with your solder to get it over quicker. But no, it must suck it through. Problem solved. So hopefully this should now solve the issue of it not having enough voltage for the ECU to know where the cam is because it knows where the cam isn't. I ordered a new sensor from Toyota, but unfortunately they sent me the wrong sensor. You got the last 2 of the part number different than what I ordered. So now to verify that this did anything, I have the fuel pump disabled so the car won't start. And I need to see trigger scope looks like now. So that was the one I did initially. I'm gonna crank the car. There we go. There's a trigger scope. So I am going to send this trigger scope to the wizard in New Zealand, have him look over and verify that this is what he wanted. From his video he made, I understand what he's looking for the voltage. So I also went into the Trigger One arming threshold table and I changed the voltages per the Toyota tech data for the 2GR, which the sensor is mimicking. I also set the trig internal pull-up to off, which it was on, and he recommended doing that to off. Let's do another trigger scope. So my Trig 2 voltage is now 3.2 at the peak, which before it was like 2, I think. The VVT, I haven't even messed with this stuff yet, which this could cause engine damage if you don't do this part right. This is for the variable valve timing. I don't know why I don't have trigger analysis window. I highly doubt this is gonna just start because I'm sure the base time is probably off now and needs to actually be found. Cam trig, heater core clamp. That's about all I got left to do. It's the following day. I've been chatting with the ECU wizard down in New Zealand about the situation that's going on here, and I think this is appropriate to do first. Curiousing. This one's got a little bit of fuel on it. I mean, by no means would I call that a fouled plug. Plugs look fine. I just did a coil test off camera. All the coils are firing. Connect to ECU. All right, I installed a new map file. That's silly. I don't know where I put the window crank for this door. I gotta... Ow, that was my ear crotch. I don't even know what body part that is. Nothing. I can at least say this. Progress is progress. The issues of the ECU are fixed. It's not tuned, but it should be tunable now. I'm only capable of doing what I have the ability and know how to, and I'm not going to become a pro tuner in a matter of days. That's something that takes years. Even though I verified with the ECU that the coils are firing, it doesn't guarantee that the spark is sparking. So the only way to check is to physically pull out and look. No. It does smell like fuel. I'm gonna stick this guy back in here, and then I gotta ground it. Go to your room. Now you're gonna have to watch this for me because I have to go inside the car and I'll review the footage later. Or I could just look through the windshield and see if it's sparking instead of looking at my footage later. I didn't see anything. Yeah, definitely sparking. I'm getting spark. Do I have fuel? Just crack this line. Should be some fuel in here. There is. Yeah, fuel leaks out of there. I got fuel. I feel like the fuel should have came gushing out of there more than it did. I want to see something. I don't think there's a high likelihood of this because it's not a diesel. Maybe there's air in the line. I doubt it. Oh, there, yeah, okay. I never said I was impervious to doing dumb shit. Is this spark plug? Is this screwdriver too big? A screwdriver won't fit, but this will. Foam thingy stick to the rescue. I don't know if I can try to turn the alternator because I ain't getting that crank with the ATI damper on there. Yeah, that ain't gonna work. I physically cannot get anything in the front of the engine to turn it over to see where top dead center is without disassembling the entire nose of the car. It's that close. So 355, enter. I'm getting somewhere. I got a backfire from screwing with the timing. Trying. Why did I let off? It almost started. So let's try 360. He said 355. I'm gonna try 360 because it almost started. So close.
11 milliseconds. Increase that, please. Make it 14.
Oh, okay. Try again. So I'm gonna do negative 340. If it sounds choked up, give it less fuel. If it sputters, give it more fuel. Try 310. Considering initially the issue with this was the fact that I kept losing base time every single time because the cam trig was messed up, that is fixed 100% now. However, subsequently, now the base time has to get found and I messed the fuel table a little bit, so that's why I can't get it to start and idle. But that's a tuning thing, not a messed up sensor calibration problem. So I feel that it's ready to go to a dyno now. I won't waste someone's time. But I gotta have brakes before I do that and an alignment. So, but that leads me into this. If you watched my most recent car review, you would know that the giveaway has officially started on the 280ZX. There's no purchase necessary to enter or win. The full rules and details of the giveaway are listed on my website, sarentuned.com, where you can also subsequently purchase merchandise or RoboBubble. Every dollar spent gains you an entry to win either this car or a cash-only prize option if you don't want the car. And there will be content coming on this soon. I'll get to work, I got some parts for it. And yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you soon with another video. Bye!